Hi, I'm Kelly Patrick, and this is the Resilient Grove. This is our gathering place for honest conversations about healing, resilience, and the courage it takes to grow through life's hardest seasons. Let's take a moment before we begin. I invite you all to join us. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Make yourself comfortable, and let's get started. Okay, Heather, hi.
Hi.
I met you at Stretch Lab, and we pretty much instantly connected with all of our shared interests, so I really want to dive into everything that you do. So I don't want to get this wrong, but yoga, body talk, personal training, Vedic astrology, music, and then yoga teaching.
This now is called Shravana Integrative Healing. And Shravana it's named after a star in the sky, which essentially means listening to the meaning beyond sound, like hearing the meaning beyond words. It's this depth of, truth beyond speech.
I love that. And is it Vedic astrology?
Vedic, yeah.
Vedic, okay. Oh, is it like Ayurvedic?
Yeah.
Oh.
So yoga, Vedic astrology, and Ayurveda are a three-pronged system.
What was the first one you said?
Yoga.
Oh, yoga, Ayurveda.
And Vedic astrology are like these three cornerstones.
Somebody brand new to astrology doesn't really understand the moon, the sun, the stars, or how we're all connected. How would you help them to understand that this is a valuable support that they need to understand themselves?
I guess one of the beauties of the Vedic astrology is when you understand yourself from the perspective of the sky. Almost every single person I've ever had a reading with, probably everyone, goes, oh. And they have this sense of like love for themselves and this patience and understanding and like inspiration. Whereas before, their problems were making them feel shame and judgment on themselves.
So with the traditional way of taking care of ailments, is to go down the medicinal route, to go to Stretch Lab, to go to all these, hype wellness places.
Yeah.
When for me, the honest way to get to know yourself is the stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That was a journey for me to find it on my own, and I'm trying to help other people, which is one of these reasons why I'm doing this. That this is a very valuable way to understand our emotions, our feelings, why there's up and down. And then once you understand that, you can go with the flow of what's actually happening in the universe too.
Yeah. So what I find is, why I created this container that incorporates all of these maybe strange sounding like modalities is because they're supporting you on every level. They're supporting you mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, and from the stars. And so we really have all the tools to treat the whole human and address the causes from the inside out. So if you still have resentment that's hanging out in your hips because of something that someone did to you a long time ago, we're going to address it and then allow that thing to release so that healing can happen.
What would you tell somebody that would say, oh, I don't believe in that stuff? Have you had that before?
I mean, yeah, but I feel like most people come with curiosity. Like my mom, I guess, is a good example, I'll put her on the table to stretch her, and maybe all the other things are not in her realm of how she functions, but she can feel immediately a physical shift and then an opening where then she can relax more and create healing.
And through that process, you're helping her to figure out how to feel that, what to feel.
Yeah, so tuning in. So sometimes you put a person into a position and they're used to feeling pain there. And then we bring all our awarenesses and use whatever tool necessary, breathe into that pain, and as you
watch it release.
Watch it. You literally watch it leave your body. And I I've done that with my mother, and she was like, I'm like, so do you feel the pain now? And she starts laughing because she didn't, you know, it left that moment of pain. And so, like I said, that's great for in the moment, but you need accountability. And so when you're using these methods, they are long-term change methods.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's a lifestyle change.
So when you're going through a lifestyle change, you need to give yourself
grace.
6 months, you know, making an investment to yourself and saying, okay, no longer. I'm going to get the help I need, and I'm going to show up. That's what you need to do. You need to invest in your vision for feeling better in whatever way, shape, or form you want to do that. And then show up, and then we'll address the layers.
I love that, yes.
And as one layer peels back, it opens space for new healing. And as that healing happens, it indicates the next layer. And then we peel back this layer. Now this new healing is helping that healing, and these healings start to work together to create more healing. And then all of a sudden your body starts remembering what to do. And you get closer and closer to remembering like who you are. Because illness is really just that disconnect from who we are. And so we're bringing you back into that wholeness. And by the accountability, meeting once a week with me, you know, we go through the process once a week. And then there's homework and there's strategies.
The initial chart, does that change at all? Or once you set the chart, that's the chart?
That's your chart for life. And then the living sky will influence what you're feeling according to that chart.
Okay.
And so with this full moon, it's happening for you in one place and it's happening for me in another place. So different areas of our lives are going to be affected.
So how can people find you?
So you can find me at my website, which is shravanahealing.com. And I also offer clarity sessions. So these are some of my favorite things to do, which you just have to book a session with me, set aside an hour and a half of time, and we'll see if it's a good fit. There's really no strings attached, and my goal is to offer you something that's going to leave you feeling elevated, more spacious, and more yourself. And if you want to work with me, great. If that feels aligned, I'd love to work with you. And, you know, if a commitment is not in your way of thinking just yet, then maybe it's not a good fit. You need to commit to your healing.
And I feel like this way of integrative support it might be better for the people who feel stuck that they can't talk about their past or their trauma or their pain. And the modern theory is that you should just go to counselor, go to talk therapy. Well, that's very intimidating for a lot of people. And like you said earlier, sometimes the body talks.
Yeah.
Let the body talk so that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Let the energies, the universe talk so that you don't have to, and then we'll peel it back that way.
Yes.
So I feel like this is such a less invasive support than it would be to just find a counselor. I'm obviously full counseling. I mean, I love it all. I think it's all should wrapped in one, but it's not number one.
The difference, I guess, with this type of a program is it combines like creating discipline, changing your habits, finding what works for you, and then creating like aligned action. And so people usually have a goal, and I watch them step into their goals all the time by the end of a program. They're like, I can't believe this opened up. I got the job I wanted. My health is better. My relationships have improved. It's because you're healing from that inside, and maybe you didn't even know that those were the things that were going to start to.
And that's just it. You have to be open to, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what you have shoved down there for so long that's not in your awareness.
Yeah, and like I encourage people to get support. I've done it millions of times in my life when I realized that I needed to invest in me, and it was hard at first. I wasn't used to doing that.
Sure. And it's not something that's wildly accepted in our society to take care of ourselves.
There's like, self-care, and then kind of
getting
like
your
this
nails
indulgent
done.
idea.
Yeah.
But what does it mean to like, okay, I'm gonna take a vulnerable step and show up and invite someone into my space to really show up for me so that I can be me and unfold and like get rid of these, it's like a computer that's so full of stuff. You wanna put more stuff in it to heal it? Really what we're doing is we're taking
away
things out, creating space, and then in that spaciousness, you can expand into your fullness.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about The people who will say, I don't have time for that. The people who are a bit more focused on their careers, making money, the material stuff of life, and they don't really understand that all of that is hurting them. Let's talk about those people who will say that they don't have time to do what we're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, you hear that all the time, and you hear it from all kinds of people. And you know, as a mom of twins who had like a full-time band, a full-time teaching job, full-time yoga, all the things, I woke up one day and said, if you don't make time, you're not going to recognize yourself.
And I'll say on the other side, I was a single mom. I had always 2 jobs. I was going to school. I always had something.
Yeah.
And I still found time to show up for myself.
Yeah, and it's really just a decision.
Yeah.
So it's like choosing to see it differently, just like you would schedule that extra meeting because you have to, because it's work. You have to schedule this hour for yourself. It's really just an hour or an hour and a half is enough to schedule that time for yourself. And so I would question that people don't have time. And then I would also challenge people to start to notice if they do create that hour for themselves.
And what they're filling it with.
Or if like you choose to open up yourself to this type of work, watch what else opens up and see how your space becomes this place that you want to be in. You know,
like you said earlier, tap into the curiosity. Yeah. Tap into, we all have it.
Yeah.
We drown it out in whatever ways, but get in touch with that curiosity. Like, why do you feel the way you do? Why are you acting that way?
Yeah.
Why are your body, why do you have all these illnesses? Like, figure that out.
Listen to it. Like, if your shoulders are screaming, and you're feeling pain here all the time, shoulders are energetically always connected to burden. We're
connected to what?
Burden. So literally, just what it sounds like, the shoulders are where we carry burdens. And when you have a shoulder issue, you're carrying something far too strong.
Interesting. And then the whole fetal position is like the heavy burden of it all just keeps making you go down and down and down.
It's down and down. And
I love that.
If you don't address that, then what
but
you can take all the...
We're fighting the standards of what the medical system has created. Like, oh, well, they're old, that's why they look like that. Or they work for a tech job, that's why they look like that. No, it's not why we look like that.
Well, let's just say you do work for a tech job, and so you're carrying the burden of sitting, and you're carrying the burden of time in a chair. And
think of an older person who looks like this. They've carried the burden of, whatever their secrets and their pain and their trauma.
They're looking down, and they're living life with this weight on their shoulders. And so, I like to be open to everything. Like, if you think something's working, really you have to feel the healing, and you have to believe that these things are going to work. And sometimes they'll show you that they will work, but what
I just said. That's who I am.
Yeah.
I've had to be shown that this works because I wasn't the type of person that would have sought you out. I had to be shown that this stuff works. And then I found my way, and then I met you, right? Well, I wanted you a long time ago, but apparently I had to be shown that this is the way that it works. Yeah. So in my world, the first part of my life was heavily medicinalized. My mother fed me medicine like it was food. And so when I became an adult, it was like, there's got to be another way to all of this. It's not just a medical system. And so the universe showed me this is what healing is like. So now I can see how it all comes together as one. So that's the whole purpose of bringing you here, is to open people's eyes to that there is this layer of healing accessible, and it's not hard.
It's not hard. It does require showing up. And so that's the difference, right? As opposed to like taking a pill and going back to what you're doing. This thing is killing you, and then you're taking a pill to not recognize that this thing is killing you so that you can go back to this thing. Right. And then something else is going to hurt, so you're going to have to take a pill for this. Yeah. And then so you create this like
vicious cycle.
Yeah. And we're all taught things in different ways, and we come to things in different ways. And so that may have been just what you know, and that's fine. But there are ways that actually free you up to become more of who you want to be.
So I'll say, meeting you at Stretch Lab, and then I think we were just sitting outside, and you were like, do you want me to read your chart? And I was just like, okay, whatever, right? And at that point in time, like I said, I was still a skeptic. I've been to psychics, I've done hypnotizing, so I'm open to all of that, right? But then we're sitting there on the Stretch Lab steps, and I understood myself, why I have the drive I have. And that just made me I remember walking back into Stretch Lab and being like, wow, now I know what I'm doing with my life. It was such an amazing feeling. So this stuff works. So thank you, Heather, for coming here and sharing all of this. And I will put the link of your website in the description.
So people can reach out. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
That was lovely.
And all that you're doing.
I appreciate all you're doing, because we wouldn't be healing if it weren't people like you.
And you. You're doing it.
We're both.